As always, we have our colourful English friend, Lee Addison from rugbyleaguecoach.com.au, back to break down another one of our games. And sticking with our Hastings Deerings Colts theme, we are looking a little bit north this week, Lee.
A little bit north if you're in Brisbane, yes, at the Sunshine Coast Falcons. Although those on the north end of Queensland will be thinking it's very south, won't they? Even I know that. Look, I've got a map here. Look, I've got a map. Look, when I take you through this, Taylor, I'm going to try and resist the opportunity to pause and stop and look at things in detail. I'm just going to let the tape run because it's a longer tape this week. The Falcons played against Tweed in their last outing, and they were 24-6 up at half-time, but only managed to win 30-26. Now, they're in fifth, and they've got like an 8-4 record. And I think I found out why. They are quite inconsistent when they finish the sets and don't manage and I've spoken about this 1,000 times already on Queensland League Scene, the temperature of the game. And it's been a few months since I've talked about field position and building pressure and holding the ball and not giving away too many piggyback penalties. So the best way of showing you this is if I share my screen.
Share the screen. Let's roll the tape.
Share the screen.
Do you mind if I share the screen?
We are watching the start of the game. So this is the very first kickoff. As you can see, that's a very quick ruck. They just play the game at such a tempo. I was tempted to speed this footage up so we got through it quicker. But then I noticed the temperature and the tempo of the game. Look how quick everything is. The ruck control is minimal. And I want the viewer to look at where each set ends. So Falcons have just returned it from their 10-meter line.
Great shot, young fella.
Great shot. Maybe we just need to turn into commentators for this analysis this week because I want to give everyone a bigger picture of what happens. We're going to keep the tape rolling through the game until it gets to the first try. Even Tweed aren't really doing the ruck things too well, but they're doing it better than the Falcons are based on the first set. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
But what a tempo in the game. And I don't even mind how the Falcons have gone quite direct there and just done a +1 and then a scoot. I really like that. Look how they've marched up the field. So attacking threat, really good from the Falcons. They've returned serve and it looks like about 18, 19 meters. So basically the field position battle is quite equal now, but you just give Tweed the edge by 8 meters when we're talking at each end of the field. So looks like the Falcons did a little bit of better ruck control there. Line speed is absolutely brilliant. I see so much good in this Falcons defense, but maybe that line speed was too fast because they gave away a penalty.
Yeah, they're known for their line speed all throughout the club. The Falcons, it's something they really focus on. They have noticeably tight A, B, and C defenders and push really hard from the inside out.
And I can see elements of that in this. And I can also see that the coach obviously got the message down to kill a few more rucks and kill it a little bit better. So their energy, their enthusiasm, their defensive system, not too bad. The thing is, you can have all the good systems, but if you don't manage the temperature of the game, you're in some trouble. You're in some trouble. And as the viewer watches this tape with us, might feel like you're just watching a match at the minute, but you'll start to see it unravel eventually. They could have easily conceded points here. They didn't. They got a forward pass or an in-touch decision. But can you see Tweed have pinned them back now in their own 10 a couple of times now?
Yes.
Right? So when you look at why the Falcons are only 8-4, when you look at why this game was 24-6 at halftime and then 30-26 at full time, I think already you're seeing some warning signs. The fast defensive rucks and the way that Tweed have pinned them back for a couple of sets. Now, the Falcons managed to get some of their own medicine back there, but then they've just lost possession. So can you see how this game is being played at a frenetic pace?
It's very quick. There's no one's using their tempo to slow the ball down in defense or it's just all speed at the moment.
It's
all
all
gas, no
speed,
brakes.
and there's not anybody. There's not anybody really controlling the game, is there? It's if anything, you think Tweed are controlling the game at the minute because the field position is in their favour a little bit. But not only is the game fast, but the game is fast mentality wise. So they've had, they've turned the ball over just at the first tackle there where they had it stripped, but they've managed to defend okay. So I'm looking at the Falcons. They're attacking okay. They're defending okay. It's just the game management that's causing them a few problems and their ruck control. Their system looks all right. Their attacking structure looks okay. They just need to put it together in a package. So in this next few minutes, you'll see that they start to gradually get into that. This is the second exit set we've seen them do. 3 plays quite direct to the middle of the field. Then the fourth one, I thought they might have done a +1 then, but they didn't. Maybe the +1 or the scoop comes next. Instead, the kick from dummy half. Can you see how this game's just going from one end to the other, one end to the other, one end to the other? It's crying out for one team to set control of it and pin the ball down the other end of the field.
I think it's crying out for just one player to take control of their side and say, this is our direction, we're going here. And it doesn't have to be a team. It just has to be a clear voice and a direction from within the playing group. One thing I've noticed is that even from 9, when they're taking off, they're taking off at speed. No, there's no, small deceptions and then a little bit of movement or anything like that. It's just all big, jerky sort of take off. And you know what I mean?
Can you see now why I've pulled out this whole section? Because there is a lack of patience in the game from both teams, isn't there? Tweed just coughed up possession now. So one team just needs to calm the farm a bit and get some control of the game. Now, great patterns there, great shape, great hole running from the right edge back rower. I don't know if you know any names here, Taylor. This 9 is really starting to make his mark, isn't he, with his scoots and
I believe that's Young Smoothie.
Half. I really like the way he looks around there. I really like the look of him. And look, there's another warning sign there. They see how they basically just throw the ball away?
Yeah.
And then somehow they got it back. This game is frenetic. Now, this is the second half. Okay? So at half time, the 24-6 up. How did they finish that set then, Taylor?
That last set, they've kicked it straight out. Yeah, so 7 tackle repeat.
Yep. Knock on. There's also a number on the video. I don't know if I had a number. See, there's a number 1 there.
Yeah,
that was tackle 1. That was tackle 1.
Oh.
So what I want the viewer and what I want you to see, Taylor, is how frenetic they are all the time. They obviously got up 24-6 at half time. They have a good attacking structure. They put it together, obviously, for a period of time. You've got to put it together for the whole period of the game. The kick early here, go for the 40-20, and it ends up being returned quite well. But they were kicking from their own area because they were getting pinned back. So if you're wondering why the Falcons were up at half time and then it was a close game in the end, I think these are all the signs. The penalties, pinned back in their own half, repeat sets, losing football. They're just playing the game too frenetic. They need to dial it down a little bit. Play fast, but don't rush, is what I always say to my players. A kick there, go straight down the throat of the back 3. So it's a different analysis this week. We're not looking at the X's and O's. We're looking at the temperature of the game. Another penalty. Can you see why they imploded in the second half?
Yeah, they are. They seem like a very good football side, and to be clear, they seem well coached in there. As you mentioned, their systems and the way they play up tempo football. They just need a few calm heads in and around that side.
That kick there was just out their own 30, so they only got to the 30 meters, and then they gave away a penalty.
Would you agree that they certainly have the makings to be a real threat in the competition if they can pull a few things in together 100%. Coming into the finals? Yeah,
100%. That there was just a tap restart. So they had 6 tackles to defend on their own 10 meters. Another repeat set. I mean, Tweed are starting at an advantage all the time in this second half, aren't they? Another repeat set. So now you know why the scoreline turned around. I think they're a great football side. I think they're well coached. What they're not either grasping from their coach or they're not well coached in this manner is game management. You can win any game of football and control any game of football if you hold the ball.
Oh,
There's another poor end to the set. Hold the ball, build pressure, get field position, reduce piggybacks. There's a crossing penalty, and that's on tackle 3. The ref must have got a call from up top. So they only scored 1 try in the second half. I didn't put that in. But this is how often they were giving the opposition something back.
too much opportunity.
Too much opportunity. So the lesson I guess I'm trying to get across is I didn't want to then talk about lines of run or block plays or where the set was going, this, that, and the other. I did a little bit. I did talk about ruck control, and there was a clear speed to the start of that game. And speed is caused by a couple of things. One, by the speed of the players running the football and running around the football. Number 2, by the speed of the ruck. And the speed of the ruck was rapid, particularly early on. That doesn't mean you rush in your head. So they've got to have fast feet and calm heads. Fast feet, calm heads. Go fast, but not rush. Somebody's got to get control of that team, be it the coach or the skipper or the half or whoever they want to have control of it. I get the feeling that 9 has a bit of control of that team too. Play the game down the opposite end of the field a lot more and think a bit longer term. Think that try that they scored, the first set that I showed you, the first set of sets, they scored because they managed to build a tiny bit of pressure by keeping the opposition down the other end. And I've never seen a try like that before where they lose the ball and the other team lose the ball and then they get it back again and score. I've never seen that before. So they just need to dial it down a tiny bit, just play a little bit less frantically in the head, and they'll turn some of these losses and some of these bad second halves into good second halves and good wins.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, mate. A great analysis on a side that can do a lot of damage in this Colts competition if they do bring it together towards the back end of the season. Thank you very much, Lee. Rugbyleaguecoach.com.au for anyone interested in more of his services, and we'll catch you next week.